Hello guys, welcome to my next YouTube video. This time I'm playing Tier 6 Premium Battleship, American Battleship Arizona. I played with my clanmate David and he needed to grind through Tier 6, so we decided to play Tier 6 ship. So here is the full team standing, and you can see there are 3 destroyers, 4 cruisers, and 5 battleships. So in the beginning we spawned with David on the right side of the map, or at the near the alpha capture point. So we decided to go there to push. We had also guy there spotting for us. So there was no need for us to go into different cap, right? So yeah. And as you can see from the minimap, the majority of our teammates decided to push through Delta Cap. So the whole game we will be playing here, we basically have numbers disadvantage on this flank, and we were trying to keep our distance from the enemy. So about the Arizona Tier 6 Premium, as I mentioned, Tier 6 Premium American battleship. It's quite a decent ship. The base range is on the guns is like 16 kilometers. With the spotter play I'm using right now, I have 19.2 kilometer range. The guns are quite accurate for T6, and the dispersion, the shell dispersion is very nice. So I'm really enjoying playing this ship. It's not the Japanese dispersion, but still the dispersion is very good, and you will be able to score some very nice hits even at the range is like 15 kilometers and more. So right now, we are basically only 2 ships shooting. Gaida is in the smoke, trying to spam some HE shots on the enemy battleships. And my friend or my clanmate David was focused, so he smoked up in the Trento and decided to kite away. But soon, I believe it's already now when it happened, his game crashed and he was not able to restart the game on time, and he was killed by the enemy team. So this is in short future. Here the last salvo I received from the Ismail, you might notice that I made mistake. I was giving broadside to Ismail and he punished me. It wasn't a hard punishment, but he scored some citadel hits. But I returned the punishment to him because with my next salvo I scored 2 citadels, and he gave too much broadside and he was punished. And these guns, the Arizona guns, hurt like hell. If you hit, they hurt. And also you have 12 of them, so you have a lot of shells sending to the enemy. And again, the Ismail is giving me a broadside, but I won't be able to score, I believe, decent hit. It was three overpens, unfortunately, and only 1 pen, but still it was like 6,000 damage. Yeah, and at this moment, my clanmate David will die because, yeah, he basically, it was like right now when he reconnected to the game, and unfortunately he was already dead because there was unlucky there was destroyer, the kamikaze R. There was that kamikaze enemy kamikaze R, which was actually spotting him. Otherwise, if the kamikaze wasn't in between those islands, he wouldn't be detected, and he probably would survive and would be able to help me. But right now, I was kiting away to back to A line, but I noticed that New Mexico and Gaida are pushing, because for some time it was only me basically here on the flank, and David, but David was not playing right because the game crashed. So now I decided, okay, it's time to go back and push in, because I want to support the New Mexico. There will be some ships targeting me still, but I don't want the New Mexico to be targeted like by 5 ships. And you can see there is on the opposite flank on the Delta Cap, the battleships and the Nuremberg are not pushing hard, but they will be soon enough. But there was a Nicholas who was quite nice, enemy Nicholas who was quite nicely delaying them. So well played to the Nicholas. And now again we are back to on back in pushing. We're trying to hit the Nürnberg, even though he's angling quite decently. He's quite slow, and it's around 13 kilometers, and I know I can overmatch his armor and score some citadels. So you saw that was salvo for 17,000 damage, almost 18,000 damage. So I already have like 83,000 damage dealt, and if you consider that if you take your tier or tier of the ship, and you add like 10,000 damage or towards the ship, like you multiply the tier of the ship 10 times and add additional 10,000 damage to it, that's the good game. When you can consider it a good game. So for tier 6 it would be like 70,000 damage, would be really good game. The game which was, it's not exceptionally good, but it would be game where you deal a lot of damage, and basically you fulfill your role regardless of your team. But luckily this game isn't over yet, and I can see you can see that the New Mexico will die soon, because he's giving broadside to Bretagne, and the next salvo from Bretagne will kill him. Yeah, and so again, I will be soon almost alone on this flank. There will be Nürnberg behind me for some time helping me. I decided to shoot the New Mexico because the New Mexico was giving me a full broadside, but the shots end up quite low. And here I decided to again start kiting away, because there's New Mexico and Bretagne pushing in, and you can see I'm giving like full broadside to the Bretagne, and luckily, because the Nürnberg is like 2 or 3 kilometers behind me, the Bretagne and the New Mexico was targeting that Nürnberg, so it gave me opportunity to show them the full broadside and to start kiting away. Even though I could go still in, you know, I there was no need for me to kite away. But I was watching the minimap and I saw that basically the enemy team is in one line here, right? And that we are covering, we are having more than half map, control over more than half map, and soon as my teammates here in near the delta cap push, then we will have bigger control. So you can still see that I'm trying to kite away because I don't want this number to be bigger than 2. It's the best. The best thing is to have there like number 1, just one ship targeting you. So in that case, you are basically fighting 1v1, and I'm using my angling, my distance from the enemies to spam the shells on them. And when I noticed that the enemy New Mexico started to kite away, and basically there was only the Trento pushing in, I decided to go in again to make sure that I still create pressure, because I don't want those ships to have freely like start shooting the rest of my team. I still need to create pressure and make sure that there is some crossfire on the enemy ships, because then they need to be really careful how they are positioning and how they are angling. And now, as you can see, because I see that my team is pushing, so I can push, because the enemy team was kiting away. Therefore, we can control even more of the minimap. And I also noticed Nürnberg is pushing too. So I will be using this Nürnberg to spot torpedoes for me. The Arizona is quite slow, up to tier 7 the battleships are, except for the German ships, German battleships. The battleships in general are very clumsy and quite slow, and especially the American Tech 3 line, or even the premium ships. They are, you can see how they are like really fat ships, like quite short and fat. And when you compare them to like tier 8, tier 9, tier 10, those are like long and really slim ships. So and much faster in comparison to the enemy. So we already score like or dealt 115,000 damage, and as I mentioned, I'm using the Nürnberg, the pushing Nürnberg, as basically my detection ship, which is preventing me from being torped by the Gallant. Luckily, the enemy destroyers were not pushing heavily on this flank, so luckily I could stay at a safe distance and just farm my damage. And with my previous salvo on the Congo, I was able to get the high caliber medal. And as you can see now, we have basically 2 ship advantage, even though the enemy team has a destroyer. But you can see the Fuso is basically dead. He had like 1000 HP, so it was only one salvo needed to finish him. And here I noticed that New Mexico actually crashed into that shipwreck of the enemy Congo. So I was able to score another quite nice salvo, and that gave me a Confederate medal, which was very nice. So right at the moment I had 139,000 damage dealt, and the New Mexico here decided to give me another full broadside, so there will be another nice salvo on the New Mexico. Unfortunately, I won't be able to kill him, but still, it was almost 8,000 damage salvo on it, and I don't think I will hit him anymore because he will be killed before I will reload. And that brings us actually basically to the end of the game. So I won't deal any more damage. So this game will end soon, and we dealt 147,000 damage. We received the high caliber medal and the Confederate medal. And what would I highlight here was my positioning. There was only one case when I was giving like broadside to enemy ships, and I was slightly punished by eating one citadel hit from the enemy Ismail. But luckily, his salvo wasn't devastating to me, and we were able to punish him with our next salvo, on which I scored 2 citadels on him. So I wanted to highlight my position. My position whole game. I was trying to kite away because I saw that I'm fighting multiple ships, so I wasn't blindly or insanely pushing into the enemy and suiciding that way. No, I was trying to kite away, just to be shot like by 2 ships maximum at the same time. I was using my teammates as a meat shield. Right, our what was that? Our New Mexico, one of our New Mexico, I believe it was that swimming with the fish player who was pushing into Alpha Cap, and I used him as the meat shield. He was focused hard, so whenever I saw him pushing, I immediately turned in and pushed together with him. When I noticed that he died and the enemy was having again number advantage and could be there are multiple ships firing at me, I started kiting. I started to kite away. So that's it, guys. So thank you very much for watching this video. If you like it, like it. If you don't, subscribe. And see you guys later. Thank you.